heard on the MFM Breakfast Show.
We are very excited. This whole week we've actually been talking about the Maria Sharapova scandal, where she came out, she tested positive for a drug we call Meldonium. And everyone was not like, what's happening? Because she's taken it for 10 years and why has it been banned since January? So we've got someone on the line to help us with that. Professor Elmarie Terblanche, she's the Chairperson of Sports Science here at the University of Stellenbosch. Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you for inviting me to talk.
Such a pleasure. All right, so let's just get straight into it. What is Meldonium exactly?
Meldonium is a prescribed medication that is used for patients with heart disease. And so it is actually a pharmacological drug that you can only get from a doctor and with a prescription.
Now, is this a common substance? Is it something that is regularly prescribed?
It is a common substance or medication for patients with heart disease, yes. It is not, as far as we know, it is not a common substance for athletes to use.
Oh.
So it is quite a surprise finding from not only from Maria Sharapova, but we also know that the only statistics that we have is from the East Bloc countries where this medication is manufactured. It is actually made in Latvia, and it is mostly available and prescribed in the East Bloc countries. And there is a statistic that says that there's about 2.2% of Russian athletes that have tested positive in the past for this substance. But in South Africa, we haven't had a case like that, and as far as I know, in the States, there wasn't so far a positive case.
Now, do you know, Prof, why it has only been banned from this year?
Yes, how it works is that the World Anti-Doping Agency, or what we call WADA, they decide what comes onto the banned list and what not. And so they have to rely on scientific research before they actually put something on the banned list. And so sometimes it takes quite a long time before there's enough evidence that a substance may cause performance enhancement in athletes, and as soon as they can confirm that, they will put something on the banned list.
Okay.
Now, speaking of these enhanced performances, what are, I don't want to say the positive effects, but what are these performance enhancing effects of Meldonium?
Meldonium is a substance that will cause your blood vessels to dilate. So they widen and they can therefore carry more blood to all the body cells, but then specifically to your active muscles or your exercising muscles. And if more blood flow goes to the active muscles, it means more oxygen gets there. And that would then enhance specifically your endurance. And so why Maria Sharapova used it is probably to enhance her endurance, because of tennis matches can last quite a long time, and during the tournament they do play almost every day. And so not only during a match will it actually enhance her performance, but also her recovery. In other words, she will recover quicker and be ready for the next day's match.
Now, are there any negative side effects to using it as a performance-enhancing drug? And on the long term, can it have some negative side effects if you use it in this way?
If you use it according to the prescribed dose, there shouldn't be any negative effects. I mean, all pharmacological drugs have some negative effects, but as far as we know, there's nothing too serious that can cause death or something like that. Obviously, when athletes, and this is something that we know, that when athletes use drugs like that, they often do not stick to the prescribed dose. Because the old saying "from more is better." Then they use it. They increase the dosages, and that is usually when it becomes problematic and it can be dangerous. But as far as I know, that if you use this in a prescribed dosage, then there isn't any serious side effects.
Now, Prof, with this all being said, can we assume that Maria has had an unfair advantage over the past 10 years?
Yes, I think, the fact that athletes use it, I always tell you that they do get a benefit from it. Otherwise, they wouldn't go to such lengths, to use a substance and also run the risk of testing positive, because these athletes are getting tested quite regularly. So, if you just look at from a physiological viewpoint, yes, I'm pretty sure that it had an effect on her performance. And, her claim that she does have an underlying heart condition, that could be true. But then she adds also that she has used it for diabetes and other conditions. There's other drugs or other methods that you will use to address a metabolic disease such as diabetes. You wouldn't use heart medication for that. So it just sounds a little bit dodgy.
Okay. Well, that's actually what we wanted to know. And also, obviously, the big question is that the Russian Federation obviously saying that she possibly could still take part in the Olympics. Do you think this is possible?
It is possible. It will now all depend on what the tribunal decide on what her sanction would be. Now, if this is her first offence, and if I remember correctly, it is her first positive drug test, then she probably looks at a sanction of 2 years, and that would make her ineligible. But now she claims that she has used it for certain medical conditions, and it is up to her and her team, her doctors, to now prove that she actually has those medical conditions. And only if the tribunal is happy that she has actually used it for medical conditions would they reduce the sanction or even, overturn the positive result. And that would make it for her possible to participate in the Olympics. Personally, I think the tribunal will be very strict on this, and I think it is unlikely that she will make it, that she will not be sanctioned at least for a year or two.
Wow.
Now, tell me, if we take a look at doping in sport in general, do you think this is going to, make it harder for Russia as a country competing in international sports, especially with what's been happening recently?
Yes, I think it is. It's interesting that, unfortunate for Russia, this positive test actually came out now. They're already in trouble, and we know that it's not only Russia. A lot of the East Bloc countries, they have very controlled doping programs. Where athletes are using various substances. So whether the IOC will go so far as to ban the country as a whole, I'm not sure whether they would do that, because there are athletes that are clean, and you will actually disadvantage them, and it would be unfair to them. But on the other hand, if you want to make a statement about doping in sport, then one has to make the harsh decisions. And maybe this is the time to actually make that decision and ban the country from the Olympics.
Wow. Okay. Professor Elmarie Terblanche, thank you so much for chatting to us this morning on The Breakfast Show. We really appreciate it.
You're much welcome. Have a good day.
Thank you so much, Professor Elmarie Terblanche, Chairperson of Sports Science here at the University of Stellenbosch, just shedding some light on the situation. And yes, she said that Maria Sharapova has had an unfair advantage. So that's very interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what possible way they can now, try and defend her.
Yeah,
her
like
team,
you said.
her legal team, her doctors. How are they going to do this? How are they going to prove these things? So we will keep you updated here on The Breakfast Show.
MFM Breakfast Show, 6 to 10 a.m., Monday to Friday.